Hi, I'm Luke.
And I'm Sato.
And we love theater.
We're pretty much theater geeks.
So we are bringing you this podcast talking about our experiences, mess-ups, and more.
Welcome to Stage Chat.
Hello, podcast listeners.
Hello.
Welcome back to Stage Chat Podcast. And now, what episode is it, Evelyn?
Number 5.
Yeah, we're so excited. I know, we say that every podcast. Maybe we should change it up a bit.
Yeah, sure.
We're so excited to be here.
Podcast numero 5.
Podcast numero 5.
Yeah, I'm just learning how to say numbers in Spanish, so.
Oh, really? I'm taking Spanish in school, too. Okay, sorry, we're getting off topic. So, today's episode, it's going to be about matinee shows versus night shows and, like, pros and cons of both. And we've prepared, like, a little document. And we're super excited. And also, I said excited again. Emocionado.
I'm going to synonyms.
All right.
Excited.
And yeah, we're just going to be talking about it. And one thing is we actually switched from our website Clean Feed to Zoom. Because
so the audio might be a little bit different.
Yeah, the audio might sound a bit different, but it's just a lot more convenient for recording.
You can say thrilled, animated, exhilarated, elevated, electrified.
Yes, I will say we are electrified. We are electrified to have our podcast today.
Okay.
If I say excited again, tell me. Okay, sorry, we're rambling.
Right.
Okay, so we're just going to talk about matinee shows first. We're going to be talking about the pros, and we're going to switch off on talking.
Alrighty.
All right, so one pro of matinee shows. The number one is that it's more friendly for older people and younger kids.
Definitely.
So older people, they tend to go to bed pretty early, so they might not want to like be there at night because they go pretty late. And also, it just tends to be a lot more convenient for elders and stuff to go on, like, matinee shows. And also, there tends to be more people at night shows, so it might be a bit harder for them, depending on their condition.
And little kids, kind of crazy at night when they're tired. They go nuts. Definitely be a lot of crying and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's much better to do it during the day, especially if it's like a kid's show, because definitely more people will come for.
Yeah. Alright, next up is that it's easier to hold after-show parties or hangouts after matinee shows. So at night, kind of what happens is you tend to just want to, like, go home and pass out on your bed, know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You're definitely more awake.
Yeah. And if you got a good night's sleep before, although people usually don't sleep good before show nights, you tend to have, like, more energy after and not be as tired. You know what I love how you say that as you're yawning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically it's just sometimes it can be easier to like throw parties or have after show parties. Fun thing is our last show at the theater we go to, it's usually a matinee, and we usually have an after party after there, and I think that's better than the night party.
Yeah.
But it's debatable.
I actually differ on that. I think it's cooler to do because then you can get you can get ice cream at all hours of the day, but...
Oh yeah, ice cream fear is more special at night than like in the middle of the day.
Depends on where you are. That's a whole other thing, but...
Ice cream debate.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, so do you want to read the next point?
Sure. It's also usually cheaper, depending on what show it is. But
yeah.
More often than not, it is cheaper and makes people more inclined to go.
Yeah, more people. So night shows tend to have more people, so usually they'll sell cheaper tickets to get more people to go to matinee shows. This isn't true for all of them. Some places I go, the prices are the same, but this applies to some places, so yeah. Okay, the next one is a major one. Oh wait, I'm pretty sure we talked about this a lot, but kind of like you're not as tired after. Yeah, as we said, you went to bed, got a good sleep, all that stuff. All right, so Evelyn, you want to do the next one?
Sure. One that our friend brought up is there is less time to stress before the show, because if you're stressing all day, you're like, oh my god, all day. But if you're only stressing till like 1 or 2 o'clock, then it might be a little better for your mental
And physical health.
Your mentalness.
Yeah, mental and physical health.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to our friend Sophie who thought of that.
Woo.
You might just like not stress as much if you have it on a matinee show. All right, so now to talk about the cons of matinee shows. Okay, so one thing is that people, performers and like actors and watchers and stuff, audience, they don't tend to be as excited, I've noticed. So I don't know, there's just something really special about a night show and like getting hyped for it throughout the day.
Definitely.
And like, I don't know, I guess it just doesn't feel as like exciting to the performers and the audience on matinee shows. And this might be just us, but I don't know.
I'm sure it's other people as well.
Yeah.
Another con is sometimes your voice isn't like as warmed up as it would be.
I disagree, actually. I think at night it would be worse because say you had a matinee show before. What?
Wait, that point's supposed to be...
Did you put that in the wrong category?
Oh, wait. No, I think you did. Wait, let's look. Another con is that sometimes your voice isn't warmed up enough. Like, for night shows, your voice has been, like, used all day. So you've practiced doing some vowels and you've some automatic warmed up from talking all day.
I actually disagree. I think that your voice will be better on a night show because, like, I think your voice would be worse on a night show because if you're acting in a matinee and stuff, say you had a matinee before, like, your voice may be more tired. Like, I think your voice would have a lot more fatigue. I don't know, it might just be me, but I think personally, if you're using your voice all day, like we are in this podcast, then at night it would be worse. I don't know. All right, next up. So, okay, did you write this?
I did.
You wrote, not many regular adults.
I mean, like, well, old people, they're regular adults, I guess. But, I mean, like, middle-aged people don't usually come to
Matinee shows as
matinee
much?
shows as, yeah.
Or like teenagers and stuff. Like if you're a teenager and acting, which you probably are, then your friends might not be able to come as much. Yeah, I agree with that. It tends to be what the place I go to, we tend to call the shows the grandpa show. Because that's kind of what it is. Because it's mainly just like grandparents that come and younger kids and stuff. That doesn't mean it's necessarily bad, but I don't know. Some people get like different enjoyment out of different things. All right, so another con, this is probably a big one for a lot of people, is that less people usually come to matinee shows. So I've heard some places, like when they're performing, only half the people will be there, and it makes sense. People are usually more free at like night than in the middle of the day, especially on days like Tuesdays and Wednesdays and like
You're at work or school or something.
yeah, weekdays and stuff. Work or school tends to get in the way.
Like Wednesday matinees or Tuesday matinees or stuff you usually hear about, like
Having not many people.
because not many people come. It's pretty quiet.
Yeah, it's not the best. So if you want like a huge amount of people on your show, you probably prefer like night shows instead. All right, so this is one we've already kind of talked about, but in my theater, what tends to happen is there's an opening night, then a matinee, and some people call that a second show slump, where what happens is the actors tend to kind of be like, okay, we got this, so they'd be less excited on like the second show, which is usually a matinee. So I don't know, it just doesn't have the same feeling, I feel like, to some people. Yeah, so we've talked about this a bit, but just less exciting feelings, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we've gotten matinee shows out of the way, it's time to talk about night shows.
Night shows.
Woo! All right, but we're going to take a little break, and then we'll be right back. See you soon.
Bye.
Hey, you there. Can you vote?
We can't. We're under 18.
But that doesn't mean you shouldn't.
So go vote in 2020.
By November 3rd, mail-in voting, or as you may have called it, absentee, or in person.
Go do it and vote early if you can.
Thanks.
Bye.
And we are back to Stage Chat Podcast, episode 5. Yeah, I think it's going cleaner than the last one. All right, so now we're going to talk about night shows. So first, the pros. So this is the biggest one, but they tend to be more popular. So technically, more people can easily come to night shows than they can day shows because like school is done, work is done, and all that stuff. And there sometimes tends to be like night parties and stuff, but like I don't know, it just tends to more be free. I guess I can say. All right, you want to read the next point?
It's like more fun to perform. I think like you have the anticipation all day, and the lights work, and you can. It's like all dark out, and you can hear all.
Yeah, people tend to be more excited to perform on night shows. Like I don't, as I said earlier, there just tends to be more like an excitement about it, kind of, that you can just sort of feel throughout the day, and then you get hyped for it through the day, and that night, and the lights are off, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So sometimes this is debatable for some people, but sometimes it can be more fun to perform. So yeah, what we said, all the lights and blah 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 blah. And sometimes you're more fatigued. Some people prefer matinee shows, but still. You want to read the last one?
Sure. You already have kind of said this, but you have something you look forward to all day, like your anticipation. You're like, oh, like when you wake up and you have one thing to do today, or like one really fun thing to do. You always look forward to that one day, and a show can always be that.
Yeah, you just have something to think about throughout the day, and some people don't like it. Some people get stressed and stuff, but personally, we do. So it's like, yeah. All right, now the cons. Bum, bum, bum. Maybe I'll add that. Maybe I'll add that sound effect in post. All right, so this might be debatable for some people, but in my opinion,
I debate it.
really? I think you're not as excited to celebrate as much after a night show, or it's harder to celebrate. Because usually you just tend to be tired and you want to just like go to sleep on your couch.
Back to your ice cream, man.
Oh
Have
yeah.
fun with friends. It's dark out. It gives you more of like a party feel when it's at night. I think it's easier to celebrate during the day because then you're just eating lunch or something, or like a super late lunch.
I've never heard that one before. Oh well. Agree to disagree?
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, next up is if you're impatient, you have to wait the whole day for the show.
Yeah.
So this can be really torturous for some people, because some people like having something to look forward to, but some just want to be like, get it over with. Like, I don't know. That, for me, I'm like mixed in between. But if you're impatient, like I am, you have to wait, and that can be a torturous process for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I is looking forward to something all day, and then you're just late, and you're like, what?
Or it gets canceled. Quarantine. Oh, that made my throat really dry.
We had a show and we were in the tech week for it. I think you've mentioned it, and then our first day on set, fully on set with the set.
Like tech week and stuff.
Yeah, it got canceled the first day.
Yeah, our show, we were about to perform it. We were in tech week, and then it got canceled because of
And they're
COVID.
like, we can't do it. All the people were like walking around and stuff, like, and I think
That was so
our
sad.
dance director like was crying, and we're like, oh,
We all crying. That was sad.
it was.
All right. So this one you kind of wrote, so I'm gonna let you take it away.
Alrighty. You can't really have dinner at a normal time because, well, night shows they're usually at like seven to around 9ish, so, or however long. Usually it's around 9 if you have a 7 show or something, but it's usually you'd either have like a really late dinner, or you could eat like dinner really early, but that you can't really have it at your normal time, so it throws off your schedule just a little bit. But
Yeah, I agree.
That's honestly the same with like regular shows.
I think that could apply for all shows,
Yeah.
though.
Well, for matinees,
Because you don't get to eat lunch at normal time either.
usually matinee though it's like 1 to 2 or
Yeah.
1 to 3.
And you usually
so
have to get there like an hour or two before.
Yeah, it's all screwed up, but your
Yeah, we're-
routine is
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's another thing we should have added to the theater thing. Your routines get screwed up big time.
We're adding it here.
Yes. All right. This is the one that I wrote. So the biggest one is fatigue. So at night shows, people tend to be sometimes a lot more tired, especially if they performed a matinee show. So although there's a little bit of excitement sometimes, a lot of times people will be pooped. And a lot of times your voice might be worse. or your acting might be worse. It might just be less exciting or tiring. And also, actors might not be as open to like stage doors and stuff. If you don't know what a stage door is, it's where actors go out and like you can talk to them or get things signed. And that tends to not happen as much at night shows. Yeah.
I
So,
disagree. I think it happens more.
really?
Yeah. Especially on like Broadway and places like that. Well, obviously you want to get that all the time, but actually, they might come out more in matinee.
Yeah, it's debatable. All right, so I think that's the end of the episode. All the
Okay.
pros and cons and stuff. We really hoped you liked episode 5. Once again, sorry for the white noise. I'll try to edit it out in post. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. All right, so thanks for watching. Adios.
Adios.
Bye.
Why am I waving?
No one can see you.